Hey guys, this is Uber I'm just going to show you what I've done on my game so far. I'm going to cover days 1 and 2 in this because in the first day I haven't really done that much. Because as Totally Unreal said, I goofed up and I deleted like everything I had, so that's not great. So I've restarted. I restarted yesterday, and yesterday I was mostly just making this level, which I created using Google SketchUp. Then I exported to DAE file and then converted to OBJ so that I could use it in Unity. Yeah, so that's it's pretty simple. I'll just walk through it in a second, but this is just to test, just get everything set up for the actual level. I don't know whether to keep this same level. I don't know whether to keep the same model for the level, because it's going to be a little bit difficult to expand on it the way I've created it right now. Because basically I just create a sort of what looks like a top-down plan, then I sort of raise it all up in 3D. It makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier to create rooms and doorways and stuff that way. So I don't know how difficult it's going to be to expand on this, because this is all, as you can see, it's not very big. But yeah, I'm just probably just going to use this as a test level and then just recreate new levels basically. I'd have to do that pretty quickly though, because I've got to fit in everything else. I do have a week. This is my second day, so in these videos I'll just sort of I'll just go over what I've done. I'll demonstrate them a bit and then go through the code, maybe explain it. Nothing too detailed though. So yeah, but this level, it's pretty basic right now. But I'm probably gonna add, if I do keep it, if I do keep it and expand it, I'm gonna add props and things and particles and all that nice stuff. So yeah, to sort of give a list as what I'm demonstrating here, I'm going to demonstrate the level. I'm going to demonstrate audio, HUD elements, I guess, even though there's not that many at this point. Lighting, interactive elements, and animations, I suppose. So a decent amount, I guess. I've not done that much in the way of scripting at this point, but I think that'll change within the week, because I need to get enemies and dialogue and all that stuff. We both know the same guy, the voice actor guy, or at least sort of practicing and training to become one. So I'm gonna use his voice for some of the things. I might have a little go of it myself as well for some of the characters. It depends. Honestly, I'm just making this up as I go along. I haven't really got a plan. I've just got this little notepad thing, just something to just look at, so I know what to do next. Yeah, I'll just show you what I have so far. So hopefully it should pick up what it's actually. Well, let's look at the settings actually, because I really hope that it does show the audio, because it's pretty recent. I've only just added it really, the extra audio and ambient sounds and such. So yeah, I'll just shut up now and I'll just show you what I've got. Oh, yeah, that's the bug with the torch right now. It'll go square before returning to its original sort of cone shape. I don't really know why it does that. Yeah, it's a little flicker noise. Footsteps too. So yeah, it's not, it's not much at all at this point, is it? But it's definitely a start. This is when I'm making a game. I usually do this. I usually just create like a test level to sort of get everything in there, throw around some design ideas, um, and then when it comes to the real thing, I'll design an actual level, and then just sort of copy it all over because, well, I'll just create a new scene in Unity. So this is just one scene. I can create a new one, create new models for that, and yeah, just transfer more prefabs and scripts and such. Um, let's start with the order you see things in. So I've already talked about the level itself. I'll talk about this door. Let's just get rid of all these little things. 2D gizmos. I'll just make them small. It's fine. Let's put this in full window. Alright. So this door, as you can see in the little demonstration I gave, this when you push this button, the door's open and it plays like a little sound effect. This door itself doesn't have any code attached to it. It's just two objects, and I've textured these, and then it has an empty game object here, and then I attached an audio source with the door sound effect. So this is just easier if I put this door sound effect here, then it's just easier. I don't have to bother adding references to other sound effects and stuff in the assets files. That's not the case when it comes to play noises and things, because there are going to be multiple noises coming out of the player. Well, at least you'd expect them to, wouldn't you? So like, I don't know, gunshots and footsteps and all that. Yeah, because by default Unity, if you call the play function, it'll just play this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I added an animation using the Unity mechanism system, and this is what it's like. I'll just it's not showing for some reason. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So I have two animation states. This is door closed. It's a default one, so it'll start on this. This is where the doors are together, and door opened, which is where they are apart, as the name implies. So I've added transitions here, and the transitions are based on conditions in Mechanim. So I've got a bool variable here, which is true or false. When it's set to true, then the transition from closed to open will play. So I'll show you this. Just like that. Well, that's a little bit small actually. There we go. Yeah, just like that, as you can see in the demonstration I did. And then vice versa. So when is open is false, then it'll do this. So I'll show you how that is altered. Now you can sorry about that. Mechanim uses parameters, which are basically just variables, and then you can hook those into a script. So I did this. I just referred to that using a button. So I'm using. I've started doing more sort of object-oriented, so classes, subclasses, overriding functions, and stuff like that. So I started with interactive elements, and I'll show you why I did this. So as you can see, this function does absolutely nothing right now, and that's fine. If I go to door button, well actually no, it has a function here, public virtual void interacted, so it doesn't return anything, and virtual means it can be overridden, overridden by subclasses. So door button extends interactive element, so this is a subclass of interactive element, and it overrides the interacted function here, so that it does whatever the base thing does. So this part here, door anim.setBool, so door anim is just a reference to the animator for the door, and then setBool, it sets the bool. So it just sets it to the opposite of whatever it's set as now. So when the button's interacted with, then it'll set that bool. And door audio source dot play, that's just what it sounds like. I showed you the audio source attached to the door. That'll that just plays that basically, and I don't need to input any parameters for that because it already has an audio clip attached to it. So let's just show you this button. So the button this is an empty. This is just a habit I've formed, just creating empties and then putting the actual functions inside child objects. So this is a box collider, so that can receive raycasts, which is what I use on the player script. That's some material just to make it look nice, sort of, except it has no actual texture at all. Yeah, that's the. I've set it to public so that I can change this in the Unity inspector. So I just dragged it down there, and then that just works. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so this is just a prefab. So I've got another one on this side. If it doesn't decide to zoom out, we didn't. It's nice. Okay, so it is basically just the exact same thing. It's just I've just dragged the door in, then yeah, that's it. I'll show you the player now. Yeah, let's open this. So this is a little bit more complicated than the other one. So you can ignore these, I'll just explain them as I go along. This is start, so this is just stuff that happens as soon as the... Let's check the recording time actually right now. 11 minutes already, okay. This is the stuff that happens as soon as the game starts. So basically the first frame, and then update is every single frame. So you have to be careful with performance stuff here. You can't just put like a bunch of performance sapping stuff in here, otherwise it will just degrade. So that's just, I always put a bit of thingy there. That's just like changing the cursor. It doesn't really seem to work though, but whatever. This is just finding the flashlight and the crosshair and the player's audio source, which I cannot remember why I'm using right now. Oh yeah, for the flashlight noise. So here this is in the update, so every frame, like I said, this is checking if there's a flashlight, get a button down flashlight, which I've bound to F, then that turns on the flashlight and it plays the sound. That's very simple. That's all it does. Here is a raycast. A raycast is basically, how to describe it? So in a game such as Call of Duty, when you fire a bullet, it's not an actual object. It's just basically just a straight line from you to your target. Obviously the spread. Oops, voice crack there. Obviously the spread, but it's always a straight line. So that's what a raycast is pretty much. It's also known as hit scan in games like TF2 and whatever. What I'm looking at here. Right, so this does a raycast from the camera's position, and the camera's facing forward, so wherever you're looking basically. So this is constantly just polling. This is constantly raycasting. This is I've stored the variable of what it hits, and then I will check if that class belongs to interactive element. Sorry, if it has an interactive element class attached to it, which is this. But the good thing about getComponent is it applies to subclasses. So even when I search for interactive elements, it will work on door because it extends interactive elements. So that's very, very useful, since you don't have to have like a bunch of if statements. So like I don't have to do one for like I don't know, health kit and door button or ammo pack. You know what I mean? So they all use the same function, but it's just changed for each one. It's overridden by each one. And here, this one, it just changes the size of the crosshair, and it changes the image for the crosshair, which is this yellow. I could easily just change the colour, but I just reused it in a previous project, so whatever, I'll just use that. And then, so this is the block which changes it, the crosshair, and I've got an extra little if statement here. If get a button down, interact. So this is the E key. So this is what lets me use the door in the demonstration. So this calls the interact function, and it inputs the parameters hit object data component interactive element. So this will return the interactive element script attached to the object, and here is the function which it calls void interact. So you can just ignore that other stuff. Don't really need to cover that. It's just it just returns it back to normal when there's not an interactive element. Yeah, so that's the input parameter from here. Target.interacted. So this will call this. So hopefully you can understand how it all sort of works now. So essentially, when the player presses the E button, it'll call a function within the player script, which then calls a function in the interactive element script, which is different depending on what the interactive element is. So in this case, a door button, and then it does the thing. So yeah, it might sound a bit complicated, but it's fairly easy once you get your head around it, I suppose. I'll show you what that little blue thing was, the little blue cube. This is going to be an AI character in my game, so if you just think of the if you ever played Halo, the Oracle characters, the is what they're called? Oracles? You know, like 343 Guilty Spark, those kind of guys. I was kind of going for that. I did originally have like an orb around it, but for some reason the material of the orb decided to screw up, and I just can't see it now. So, not can't say it. Like I disabled it because it became opaque, so I couldn't see the cube, which is the whole point of it. But the idea is, I'll just open Mechanim again. Open this in a separate window so you can. I'll show you what's going on. Right, you can see in Mechanim, this isn't tied to anything right now, so it's just these two animation states, just like with the door and a bool function. So it's probably like the simply the most simple kind of Mechanim state machine thing you can do. Just have a bool and two states. So you can see the animation is playing. The animation is literally just rotating. This is just what I plan to do. So as part of the story, I still haven't written the story. This is just what I'm just throwing ideas around, really. So it'll transition from this one to that when I click is angry. Or maybe it's... why isn't it? Well, this is embarrassing. Is it not? Maybe I'll just wait for this to play out. Then it might do it. Yeah, it did. Okay, I should probably fix that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So it just transitions when this is finished. I need to change that though because it's way too long. So there will be a variable that, as part of the story, where the AI guy gets a bit angry. Okay, I'm coming on 20 minutes now, God. I'll finish up after this. So he gets a bit angry, and this is what this variable is for. So I can just disable it now, and it'll transition back to... that's a very fast transition. I'll probably change that because it doesn't look very organic. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've got in the game so far. No real functionality. I've got sort of... well, okay, there is functionality. I've got the interactive elements. Just having this set up helps a lot. It'll save time, because I can put like a lot of things under this. I can attach a bunch of scripts to it, and it'll just work. I don't need to have like a bunch of different if statements here. It just saves time, and it's good practice as well. If you want to go into games development, well, especially in games development actually, because a lot of games development is object oriented or oriented, whatever you want to say. Yeah, so you need to get used to using subclasses, referring between them, overriding functions and variables and what have you. So yeah, if you're making a game in Unity or Unreal or whatever, I would recommend doing that. Definitely looking into how you can use subclasses and superclasses and how to refer between them and override and etc. So okay, that's pretty much it. I'll probably do one tomorrow. Hopefully, if I actually get things done tomorrow. Um, oh God, yeah, I'll just finish up now. Just something. All right. Yeah, I'll just finish up now. Right. See you later.